Cecile Richards is entering her final weeks at the helm of Planned Parenthood. The organization provides health care programs like birth control, cancer screening, pregnancy care, and abortion services to more than 2 million people at more than 600 centers nationwide.
For 12 years, Richards fought for women's health care and organized campaigns to protect Planned Parenthood's federal and state funding. She will step down as president next month. She shares her own story for the first time in her new book. It's called Make Trouble, Standing Up and Speaking Out and Finding the Courage to Lead. You could say leave this week, though. It's published by Touchstone. That's an imprint of Simon & Schuster, division of CBS. Cecile Richards, good morning to you.
Good to see you, Gail.
Good morning. It's been 12 years. How would you describe it as you're settling into your last week? And why now did you think it's time to go?
Well, it's an incredible organization. Of course, we just celebrated our 100th anniversary, and it's been an enormous honor. We provide health care to 1 in 5 women in this country. And so it's hard to leave, but I'm ready to step aside and have someone else take on the responsibilities at a time where I think we're incredibly strong in this country.
And I think it's important, as you point out, you provide health care, but for so many people, Cecile, they hear Planned Parenthood, and it's like this. It's very polarizing and very divisive for a lot of people because they only concentrate on the word abortion. What do you say about that?
Well, I mean, again, I think we do more to prevent unintended pregnancy than any organization in this country, and we always have. It's interesting, Gail, I just saw a Fox News poll out last week they did with the Wall Street Journal that Planned Parenthood was the most popular organization in the country of the groups that they polled. So for most women in this country and a lot of men, Planned Parenthood actually isn't a problem. It's more of a solution.
Now, you said it's not a political issue. You said it's a health care issue.
That's correct. I mean, folks don't come to us to make a political statement. They come because they want access to affordable health care, and we're proud to provide it all across America in more than 600 health centers.
And federal funding is so important for the organization. The president, in his most recent budget, said never again. He was reluctant to sign that. One of the reasons, obviously, was for funding for organizations like Planned Parenthood. That was included in this recent budget, but there are concerns that won't be included in the budgets to come. Are you concerned about that as you hand over the reins?
Actually, because of the outpouring of support of people across the country, many of them former and current Planned Parenthood patients, I feel really good about where we are. I mean, we had bipartisan support in the United States Senate that kept our doors open last year. And again, I think as more and more folks have focused on what it would mean, when you talk about defunding Planned Parenthood, it really means blocking women from getting birth control, cancer screenings, and for many women, we're the only health care provider that they have.
You tell an interesting story about meeting with Jared and Ivanka early on after the election to talk about Planned. I thought that was a very interesting conversation. Will you share that?
Sure. Well, and you can read more in the book. I think it's kind of a behind-the-scenes look at, I'd heard that they were interested in meeting to learn more about Planned Parenthood, and I would do anything, go anywhere, talk to anyone about the important care that we provide. So I took my husband, actually, because I wanted somebody else with me, and we sat and talked to them, but it really seemed pretty clear that they just wanted to make a political deal. They wanted us to quit providing abortion services to women in America.
Didn't they say we could guarantee funding if you say you'll stop abortion?
That's basically what they said, and I just said we will never turn our backs on women in America. It's a legal service, and plus, as you say, no federal funding goes for abortion services. So, though I was very disappointed in the outcome of the meeting, I have been incredibly encouraged, again, at the outpouring of people who support Planned Parenthood, and that's really why our doors have stayed open this last year.
What do you make of the polarization around abortion rights in politics today? I mean, and Democrats are used to be pro-life Democrats. In the Democratic Party right now, you cannot be against abortion rights and survive as a Democrat. That's happened over time. Why do you think that is?
I actually don't think that's right. I think that there's a difference that people in America see, which is that they have their own feelings, personal feelings about abortion, and it is a very personal topic, and I certainly respect that. But it's different to say that you want the government to tell women and pregnant people what they can do. And that's where I think actually there is overwhelming support now for Roe versus Wade, the highest that there's ever been in this country, including among Republicans. So I think it's a difference between respecting people's personal opinion and what do you want the government to actually do.
But do you think if you're a Democrat who agrees on restrictions of abortion of some kind, that you will have success in the Democratic Party?
Well, I mean, I don't know. There are people running all across the country. I will tell you one thing that has been encouraging this year, and I write about it in my book. is the record number of women running for office. I have never seen the outpouring of women being not only candidates but activists. I think it's an exciting time. Frankly, I think if we finally got half of Congress could get pregnant, we would quit fighting about birth control and Planned Parenthood, and we'd move on to some other issues.
Well, I think it's so appropriate that the name of your book is called Make Trouble, because you talk about as a little kid, you refused in class to say the Lord's Prayer, and then later in 7th grade, you wore a black armband to protest the Vietnam War and were called to the principal's office.
Right. That's been kind of my history. Of course, I talk about in the book as well, growing up with Ann Richards as my mother, who went on to become the first progressive woman governor ever in the state of Texas. Talk a little bit about what it was like raising activist kids, what it's like being pregnant with twins and trying to go on the campaign trail when there's no more maternity clothes that can possibly fit you. So I hope this book is both a memoir but also a little bit of a call to action for people who want to make a difference in the world.
And I was fortunate enough to meet your mother when she was governor of my home state of Texas. And I'm curious, she was never one to hold back her thoughts, right? And she spoke her mind. What would she think about the current political landscape right now in this country?
I think what Mom would feel is incredibly excited about the number of women who are now standing up, speaking out, whether it's Me Too, whether it's Time's Up, whether it is women running for office. And I know we've seen that. And one of the things I'll write about in my book is the amazing women, including many young women I've met along the trail this year. And she'd really be proud of her kids, her grandkids. My daughter, Lily Adams, who now works for Kamala Harris, a fantastic United States senator. The world is changing. I think women are shifting the ground everywhere, and Mom would love that.
Women running for office, does that mean Cecile Richards running for office?
Well, you never say never, but I'm really excited in these next few months to make sure that women are not only running for office, but they are registered to vote and that they're turning out in November. I think women have the opportunity to change the landscape and change the direction of America.
All right, make trouble.
Yeah.
And you said make trouble never ends. Troublemaking never ends, you say.
That's right.
It'll be interesting to see your next chapter, Cecile Richards.
Thank you. Thank you, Gail.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, good to see you. Thank you.
Cecile Richards. Make Trouble is on sale tomorrow.